we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. Oh, we know what we...
Welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I'm just gonna do... Yeah.
Can you spread the jelly everywhere on my toast again? Can you make me some more, but spread the jelly everywhere? I loved it.
Oh, you're so sweet. Yes, I can do that. Do you want to bring it to me?
My plate's gone.
So I need to go in there.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that. When?
I ate the whole plate.
Okay. All right. I don't even know where I was. What do I need to say before we jump in? I want to tell you exactly what you want to know. This is my 4th pregnancy and my 4th baby. It was different, but the same, if that makes sense. And there's just a lot of things that I've learned. So I'm going to share what happened, and I'm going to share things that helped me in this first trimester. Thank you so much for being here. I hope this serves you. I hope this serves somebody who's looking just to know a little bit more about this big... Hey boys! You know what? Interruptions are they're just part of my channel. Gosh, if only I could remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, I remember. Pregnancy, especially your first pregnancy, but honestly, all of them, they're these huge question marks of uncertainty. So I understand why you're here, why you're watching. I did the same thing. So if anything, I hope this helps you, calms your nerves, gives you some ideas, and most importantly, if you're struggling, you're not alone. Let's get started. Did we plan this 4th pregnancy? It's funny. It's a funny question. A lot of people asked us that, and with the reactions that we got from people when we told them we were pregnant again, you would think nobody expected this. To be honest, we weren't really expecting it. We know we wanted 4, but the conversation was on hold because we had our hands full with 3 boys. But the Lord had different plans, and that's the exact reason why we were okay with it. I will say, the night I found out and took the pregnancy test, I took 1 pregnancy test. I'll share some of the symptoms of like what hinted that I needed to take it, but when I took it, I opened the bathroom door and I looked at Tate and I said, I'm pregnant. Like, I was not prepared emotionally, physically, spiritually to just jump into this, all the other ones we had planned. But I woke up the next morning.
I just learned something that's called geocache.
That's awesome.
Geocaching, there could be a geode right under our feet.
I believe it. I believe that.
There's a special tracker we use.
Okay.
It's www.
Oh. I mean, honestly, if this is anything, it's a glimpse into why I didn't feel prepared to welcome another baby into this season, but here we are. I'm willing, I'm able, and I'm very, very grateful. Symptoms that made me take a test. Honestly, I was really in the dark because I was so not planning this, not expecting it. I just missed my first period, and that day, like that exact day that I was like, I haven't had my period in 2 days and I'm always regular, I started noticing my smell sensor was a little off, and I drove my little hiney straight to Walgreens with my kids in the car, picked it up, and I waited for Tate to get home, and then I took it because I was like, this nose thing isn't normal. I have missed my cycle. Oh, yeah. And here we are. No breast tenderness, no aversions, nothing. Maybe it's because it's my 4th go around, but it's probably because I wasn't even thinking that this was a possibility. I don't say that lightly. I don't say that lightly. This is my dream. I'm literally living out my dream. I dressed up as a pregnant mom as a 2nd grader. And I just know there are a lot of stories that involve grief and loss and brokenness. And so everything I'm saying, it's my own personal experience, but just know that I'm sensitive to what other women have had to go through and walk through. I have a lot of people really close to me that are suffering right now, so I have a huge place in my heart for them. The week I found out, obviously I woke up the next morning feeling better and calm, but I knew from past experience that my first trimesters are tough. I feel nauseous and I'm exhausted and I don't like food. So I was like, I'm still hungry. This is good. I've also been working really hard to nourish my body properly over the last few years. So I'm like, maybe this is different. So I just started crushing calories and nutrient dense foods just in case I wanted to stop eating, because that's not good. My go-tos that I was crushing was like grass-fed beef, potatoes, eggs, avocados, smoothies, sweet potatoes, butternut squash, but like the smoothie was my main. I mean, I eat all those foods normally, but the smoothie is what I really picked up just to get a little bit of extra nutrients in it. And this is what got me through postpartum with my third baby. This is what got me through these few weeks, but also the entire first trimester. This is like the smoothie of all smoothies that my body just loves. And it's going to get me through the next postpartum with this baby. Let me tell you really quickly what's in it. I had 1 frozen banana, like a cup of strawberries, half cup of blueberries, half cup of raspberries. Then I added either a scoop of Perfect Supplements collagen or Equip unflavored protein powder. I stay away from stevia throughout the entire pregnancy because high doses of stevia are actually contraceptives. And that's in some of their flavored protein powders, so I did the unflavored one. And then what I do on top of this smoothie that's already delicious, it needs a healthy fat. So you have your carb, your protein, it needs a fat, and this is why it got me through postpartum and why it got me through this first trimester, because it's balanced. I doused it in olive oil, like not just a little sprinkle, like olive oil. Yeah, we got it good. The olive oil I used is very specific because it's a very high quality and it's not filled with any fillers and anything like that, and it's just really easy to just throw in there. It's by ARAZA, and I've been using them for about 2 years. You'll see it in some of my postpartum videos with my last baby. And the coolest thing, you guys, is that they're actually sponsoring this portion of the video. This was already planned. My whole script was planned. And then I got an email from them and I'm like, yes, please. This is a pinch me moment because I'm a huge fan of this company. It's just a high quality, real olive oil. They actually print the harvest date on the bottle for you, so it's really fresh. And also, when you look at the shelves of olive oil in the grocery store, this is how I found it. It looks different from every other bottle on the shelf. And when I noticed that, I was like, you know what? It's worth my time going to inspect what kind of olive oil this is because they're doing something different. They have an amazing bottle that's gorgeous and green, and it has like a really cute branding label on it, but the top is like a twisty top, so you're not opening olive oil, pouring it, and then it's dripping down, then it's getting in your cupboard. No, the cap is incredible, and it's just another sign of a company doing things intuitively and differently. When I see a company who does this, I want to know more about them because it's hard to do things different. ARAZA did that, and that's why I've been using them for 2 years. It's actually really affordable for the quality that it is as well. So if you guys are interested, I have a link down below with a discount code for you. So there you go. I think all of America is on high alert about oils right now, and this is just an incredible company to pay attention to. They're one of the good guys. Vomiting. I'd never experienced this before, and the amount that I threw up this first trimester actually made me pretty nervous. I, again, had never experienced it before, and it was terrible. There's more to this, but I'm going to talk about the other things that I experienced. Kind of, this is all around like week 6. I started feeling yucky, and I feel like that is kind of the truth for a lot of women. I also was incredibly exhausted, like in bed by 6:30, couldn't do anything else, like not exaggerating. Other symptoms when I hit week 6, I was so sensitive to smells. Smells would make me vomit, honestly. Sorry, I don't like the word vomit. I'm gonna use a different word from now on. Throwing up. And honestly, it was anything from like the smell of our dishwasher to the smell of butter, which I use butter I eat butter every day, but I could not. Beef, like cooking beef, which is what we eat almost every night, but I couldn't. Garlic, the smell of our bed pillows, if they weren't like literally cleaned that day, and my smell was really sensitive. But there's something to this there's something really important here. Before I share that, my mental health during week 6 through 12 was really, really struggling, just because I felt so bad, and the pregnancy was not necessarily planned. I mean, it wasn't bad. I wasn't wishing otherwise. Like, I was really grateful, but at the same time, I was like, I feel so terrible. I have no energy. I just couldn't fathom and believe that I could do what I'm being called to do, mother 4 kids in, you know, this chapter, this season of life. And I was making decisions based on how I was feeling, even though it was a temporary feeling. You guys, I almost quit YouTube, which would have been so sad, but that's how bad I was feeling. I just wanted to cut everything off. I wanted to live under a rock. I wanted to just stop. It was not good. It got to a point where I was like, Tate, you cannot let me make any decisions. I am not myself. But here is the catch. I was still breastfeeding our 3rd child, who really had a hard time with weaning. I tried a few times, but before bed, he wanted that time together to nurse. He was about like 1 year and 4 months around this time, and I was like, you know, he's getting most of his nutrients. He's getting all of his nutrients really from food, not from nursing. And I talked to a healthcare provider that I really trust, and they're more of like a whole body holistic approach. And she was like, it could be breastfeeding. And I was like, what? I'm only producing probably a few drops of milk for him. But I stopped breastfeeding a week later. Literally within 24 hours, I felt like a new person. I didn't realize how much breastfeeding could potentially drain me, but it was draining every ounce that I had left. I had no idea breastfeeding was that deep and that it required that much from me. So I was questioning, I'm like, is it really breastfeeding? Is it really that? 48 hours, 72 hours, 1 week passed, and I'm like, I literally feel great, which led me to believe that it was both growing a human in my belly and feeding a human that just was completely depleting me. So when I hit week 12, which is right around New Year's, I just had this like awakening. I'm like, I can do this. I feel so much better, and it gave me a lot of confidence in what I had been doing months, years prior to fully nourish my body and get into a healthier state. So that was the catch. That was the catch that I didn't realize was happening, because during that awful 6 weeks, I was like, this is actually scaring me. This is the worst I've ever been. Tate was like shocked and nervous and scared because I was so completely knocked out. I'm really grateful that I figured that out, that someone encouraged me to just seek that option, and Rory was totally fine with it. He went to bed great on the night that I just didn't breastfeed him, and the rest, like, it's been great since. So aside from all of that drama, here's some body changes that I noticed this time around that really happened consistently with all my other pregnancies. Number 1, I got breakouts on my face. They weren't dark, they weren't really noticeable, but I never really break out on my face. I was getting them here, and I was getting it here and in my chin. I also got redness here and here, and that's just like made me feel so yucky when I looked in the mirror. Because I mean, those rough 6 weeks, I'll say like the bad 6 weeks, the good 6 weeks of first trimester, I would literally look in the mirror, my face would be breaking out. I was literally hunched over. I was losing weight. I couldn't even like muster myself to sit up straight or stand up straight. So like the acne, like on top of it, was just like a kick in the butt. It was awful. But I'm week 18 now, and my face is very clear. So I just have to get through that first trimester. I use ARAZA non-toxic makeup, which never inflames or like makes me feel worse. It's made with such good ingredients that like I put it on and I feel better, because I know it's not only like enhancing me a little bit, but it's also nourishing my skin. That's why I use good stuff, because I already knew my hormones were what were causing this. I didn't need to mess up my hormones even more. No breast tenderness. I was breastfeeding, so maybe that's why. Maybe it's just because I'm in a healthier state as a human. I don't really know the answer, so I'm not gonna make a claim here, but I still don't have any breast tenderness. My breasts haven't even grown, and I'm 18 weeks, which I'm pretty sure that happened with my last pregnancy. It just took a little bit longer, and I stopped breastfeeding 2 months ago, so that could be it. Low back tenderness. When I walk too much or do too much, I definitely feel tender back here, and it gets very strong towards the end of my pregnancy. I'll keep you guys posted with that and what I'm trying to do to support my body this time around. I also get round ligament pain. Last pregnancy was the first time I got it, and I've been experiencing it already, which scares me because it is painful. So I'm also working with someone to help me avoid that. This time around, I've been doing a lot of bowspring. I don't know if you guys are hearing about that yet, but it's changing so much for me, and I'm really intrigued by this practice. I'm learning a lot about it from Corey Malloy, and they have a podcast called The Village Sessions, which I've been listening to a lot. They have a great podcast on pregnancy that really just opened my eyes and gave me confidence and really empowered me when I started feeling better. Like, this is so good. I'm so grateful. My body is so capable of doing this for the 4th time. Will we be finding out the gender? Yes, actually in about 2 weeks. We have 3 boys, and I think I'm in a really healthy place, probably because I'm not in my first trimester, in the gross first trimester stages, where I'm just a basket case and I can't go with the flow. But I'm in such a healthy position. Like, I'm so glad we waited until 20 weeks instead of doing it earlier like we did with the last baby. I had a complete meltdown, which was so uncalled for, because every child is a gift, and every opportunity to do this is such a gift, and I truly believe that. I'll cry when I say that, because it's just such a gift, and I know that. So whatever I have, girl or boy, if I'm a boy mom of 4 boys, I'd be so proud, and I'd be so up to that challenge that the Lord put on my plate, and I would say, yeah, let's do it. And if I had a girl, I'd be overwhelmed with joy as well. It's just like, I know God already knows, and He's known from the beginning of time. So I'm okay with whatever His plan is. Clearly, I didn't even plan this myself, so it's out of my control, and I know that. Tools that helped me. Obviously, podcasts, listening to really empowering, not as much like knowledge-based, but more so like deeply rooted, holistic, this is what pregnancy is. I didn't want all the answers. I just wanted someone to say, like, you were made for this. The Village Sessions podcast is it for me. Cranberry juice, like the very tart cranberry juice. I wasn't really into water. It just didn't taste great to me. But I added cranberry juice to it, and cranberry juice is really good for your hormones as well. I chugged that all day long, and that kept me hydrated. It's expensive though. You don't fill the whole cup with cranberry juice. You fill your tumbler with water, and you add like this much cranberry juice to it. Totally changed the game for me. I mean, I went too many days with like drinking this much water. I also drank red raspberry leaf tea, which is great for your hormones as well, but check with your healthcare provider, because some people don't think that. I'm not a doctor, this is just what I do. Filtered water, incredibly important. I just like up my game when it comes to no toxins, no plastics, and we have the Epic water filters, water filter under the sink. So that's what I relied on. I always share about my water filter because it's so important, but specifically for pregnant women, because there are pharmaceuticals, there are microplastics, there's viruses in our, like, there's really yucky stuff in our water. Epic water filters is one of the top when it comes to filtering all that garbage out of your water. ARAZA olive oil, obviously, just to help me get calories in those 6 weeks. It was so crucial for me. I really didn't want to be depleted, and I didn't want to lose weight. And I feel like I did okay because I was able to get that healthy fat in. I had a lot of plain chicken with olive oil and coconut aminos and salt. That's pretty much it. I don't eat chicken that much, but that's like, boiled chicken sounded great for a while until it was like, nope, can't do it anymore. My grandmother got me this menthol, like peppermint inhaler. It's not like a inhaler. It was like you put it in your nostril and you inhale it when you feel really nauseous. I did that a few times. I was scared of it at the beginning because I was so sensitive to smells, but I started doing it and it kind of just tricked my brain into thinking I was okay with smelling something good, and it's just worth trying because I feel like it helped a few times. My prana mat, which is an acupressure mat where it has like lotuses that are very sharp, but it's like a complete mat that's covered in them, and you lie on it. Well, I lie on it, and it releases tension wherever you're lying on it and in those muscle areas on your body. Definitely could have said that better, but that's the gist of it. But round ligament pain, from what I'm learning, has to do with not only just like tightness around here and in your hips, but also in your upper back and your neck. And that's where I carry my stress. That's where I hurt when I'm holding my 1.5-year-old, when I just have long days. So I do my prana mat every single night before I go to bed. It's like part of my routine, and it just releases a lot of the tension, which is so good for me before I sleep. Another tool I used was magnesium from Perfect Supplements. I have trouble sleeping in the first trimester. I have with every single pregnancy, and magnesium just really helps calm my body down. And for the majority of the first trimester, it helped. There were some nights when I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna be up. Can't do anything about it. But that was normally after like a really stressful day or a lot of throwing up. Something where my body just couldn't, more so my brain just couldn't turn off. More tools, just random things, like I drank ginger water. I sipped on heavily concentrated salt water for the electrolyte boost and for just like mineral support. I didn't take many supplements around this time. I took beta carotene because I was depleted in that. I had it tested. And I took Fertile Vitamin C, which you guys know is one of my favorite brands and lines of supplements. Raw oysters, I know that's like a big no-no for many people, but if I know their quality and I'm used to eating them, I craved them first trimester. They're really nutrient dense too. Oh, and milk. I drank raw milk, warmed, because cold things did not help my energy levels or my digestion. Warm things really, really helped. Warm drinks, warm lemon water, and warmed milk. Yeah, those are just a few things that helped. Cravings in the first trimester, fruit, like fruit and more fruit. Rice was okay. The smell of it cooking was not, but once it was cooked, I was able to eat it with some coconut aminos and with some chicken in there. Honestly, I just had those 6 weeks of grinding, and then when I stopped breastfeeding, I was able to eat pretty much anything. But like lemon, cranberry, tart things sound delicious to me. I'm loving potatoes right now, and red meat, like when I could eat beef again. When I stopped breastfeeding, that was like such a win because I love a big juicy burger. Aversions, I feel like I already touched on this, but like anything with seasoning. My husband loves seasonings. I was like, nope, poor thing. He had a lot of boiled chicken with a very good attitude. Beef, butter, all these like really rich, fatty things. I was like, no thank you. I have 2 more sections for you guys and then I'll be done. Positive thoughts. This was so important and really powerful for me, especially in those 6 weeks of like just hardship is what it felt like. I repeated these things to myself often. This is just temporary and it's so worth it. I had to say that over and over and over, and it just kind of gave me a pep in my step to be like, all right, you can get through this. My body was designed to carry this child. Just confidence in the process and what's happening, and then I can do this. I can do this. Just saying that over and over and over was really helpful when I felt yucky, and when I was starting to get my energy back, I just like believed it even more. I haven't always had really strong positive thoughts during pregnancy, during this first trimester, so that was different and really empowering. Another tool I used when I felt really yucky, I just thought of this, but I listened to music from back in high school, back in middle school, even elementary school, that just always made me happy, and it brought me back to this version of Margaret that had energy and joy. It just brought back like a good vibe. So I turn on that music all the time. Like I was listening to tons of Colby Calais, Jason Mraz, Andrea Bocelli. I've listened to him my whole life and he always just calms me down. Enya, oh my gosh, Eiffel 65. I listened to them a little bit. Jump 5, the song Spinning Around. Like these songs gave me life on days when I was like, I need something. Yeah, those are, it's like a fun little tool, but just throw something on where it brings you back to when you felt really, really good. Okay, my last section, lessons learned. This is my 4th pregnancy and likely my last. I'm pretty sure we're gonna be finished after 4. I can explain why in future videos, but I wanted to share some things that I learned in case you are brand new to pregnancy, brand new to motherhood, things that I wish I knew. Just a few. I know there's gonna be more that come up in future videos, but number one, it's okay to be quiet. For years, when I'm struggling, when I'm not feeling well during pregnancy or postpartum, I feel badly not responding to people or, you know, saying no to so many social events and like not even talking a lot in my home because I just don't have the capacity. That is okay. It's important to communicate to people like, look, this is not me being passive or anything like that. I'm just not okay and I need to get through. And that's how I get through things. I just put my head down, I'm quiet, and I go. I know other people handle things differently, handle when they're struggling differently. That's how I do it. And this time around, I gave myself permission to be quiet. And when people ask like, hey, what's up? Are you okay? Like, I would tell them obviously, and I'm like, I need to put my head down and I need to keep going. Conversations with children. I have a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 1.5-year-old. I didn't realize this, but they were struggling with the thought of a 4th child. Probably because internally I was struggling. I know that there's things that happen between a mother and her children where they're just in sync with energy. And I'd never done this before, and it was really, really important because I found some things out that my kids were struggling with. And that was only because somebody advised me to do that. So thank you to that person who had the courage to tell me to do that. And I'm really, really glad I did because we're all out in the open, and my children, after processing it and speaking it out loud and me saying, hey, there's good things to this. This is what's good. This is what's good. And this might be hard, but we're all gonna get through it together. I feel like it just gave them a sense of like, okay, I'm safe. I'm not alone, we're in this together. And since then, it's been much, much better. The lesson I learned is that husbands, men will never fully, and I mean this in a really kind and loving way, they'll never fully understand what we're going through in first trimester or just in pregnancy in general. They don't have hormones that we have, and they don't feel the way we feel. It's so hard to explain when you just feel yucky too. And the best thing that I figured out with my husband is just saying the percentage that I'm at that day. And when I'm good, saying like, I'm a good percentage right now. When I'm bad, I say the percentage and I'm like, this is why, and this is what I think I need right now to get back up to a better percentage. And just like in his logical mind, it worked. Not all men are gonna be like that, but I also can tell that it's hard for him too. It's hard for him for me to be just knocked out. And so when I did feel good, I was like, hey, do you need to go do something? Or do you need to take a rest? I can take the boys. Just being aware that I'm not the victim. I'm not the only one transitioning and going through this. And it's even harder for them because they're not experiencing what we're experiencing. They're just looking at it from the outside and just trying to be there and help. So just graciousness with husbands and really strong communication. We have had plenty of experiences where I've done a poor job at that. And I've just kind of left him hanging, and it doesn't help. You need to be on the same team. Oh, it's okay to watch TV. It's okay to watch your show with your kids as long as it's appropriate. I watched a lot of Mamma Mia, like over and over and over, Letters to Juliet, just happy, very happy films. It's okay to let your kids watch TV. I'm a huge advocate for understimulating TV shows like we did Mr. Rogers, Winnie the Pooh, Arthur, Clifford. Arthur, I don't know. I didn't enjoy it. Like I thought it was, there's some things that were question marks for me. I was like, did I watch that? I don't know. Arthur's kind of kicked to the curb. Kipper, Leo the Truck, Bluey's great. Bluey makes me laugh and it's really happy. Those are a couple of our favorites. We also watched like Swiss Family Robinson, Mary Poppins, things that I liked as a kid. Because again, when I watched things that I watched when I was younger, it just kind of tricked my mind into thinking that like, I feel good because I felt good when I used to watch that. I don't know, it was weird, but it helped. And then just if you're a mother, a pregnant mother with children, with young children already in the home, it's a whole different dynamic. And what I learned is the importance of board games because I am sitting and I am resting and the mess is contained and there's also connection happening between you and the child. So that's what I relied on. That's what I'm still relying on. We do Uno, Cards, Gin, Rat-a-tat-cat, Candyland, Sorry. Play 9 is a really fun one. We just learned some dominoes, like Mexican train dominoes. But that's just like a little tip I wish I knew earlier, but from being in a place of desperation, I learned that this pregnancy. If you guys have any more questions, please feel free to ask. I'm an open book. This is my 4th go around. But aside from that, I'm so glad you're here and I wish you the best. Thank you for watching and I'll see you guys in my next video.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind